So former President Obama torches MAGA with like a brutal takedown of their voter suppression tactics, shouting out Texas Democrats for leaving the state to stall a rigged mid-decade map and, you know, warning about a broader systematic assault on democracy. His point's simple, really. Democracy isn't self-executing. So we've got to keep showing up against like gerrymanders, voter suppression, election denial, and the politicization of government and hold power accountable because progress isn't a straight line. Let's watch the full clip and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
As what we all recognize is we can't let a systematic assault on democracy just happen and stand by. And so because of your actions, because of your courage, what you've seen is California responding, other states looking at what they can do to offset this mid-decade gerrymandering that is highly irregular and is not what we should be doing to balance out the maps for this upcoming election. And I think we became a little bit complacent over the years. We assumed that things would continue to get better, that our democracy would become more inclusive, that it would become more fair, that we'd make it easier for people to vote rather than harder for people to vote, that the votes would be counted rather than suppressed. And what we forgot is that history doesn't always move in a straight line, and it's not always 2 steps forward and another 2 steps forward. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and a step back. And we're in a moment right now where not just gerrymandering, but efforts at voter suppression, efforts at questioning the results of elections, efforts at the executive branch unilaterally doing things that bypass Congress and the people's representatives, militarization of cities, politicization of our justice departments and our military. Those are trend lines that remind us that this precious democracy that we've got is not a given. It's not self-executing. It requires us to fight for it. It requires us to stand up for it.
Man, you know, that point about complacency really hits home because while a lot of us were just assuming things would, you know, progress naturally, the modern Republican Party was basically reverse engineering democracy to figure out how to break it. I mean, their entire strategy is built on a core deception. If you can't convince a majority of voters to support you, then just rig the game so you don't need a majority. It's a systematic dismantling of the entire principle of one person, one vote. And the main weapon they use is this disingenuous crusade for so-called election integrity. It's honestly one of the most successful gaslighting campaigns in modern history. They invented a phantom menace, widespread voter fraud, which study after study has proven is a statistical myth, and then proposed a solution. And the solution, what a shock, always involves making it harder for people in cities, young people, and people of color to vote. It's a political strategy disguised as a security measure, isn't it? This isn't just about voter ID laws either. Look at the the highly irregular gerrymandering Obama mentioned. That's not just politics, it's a mathematical formula for entrenching minority rule. They use mapping software to surgically carve up communities, ensuring their candidates can't lose no matter how unpopular their policies are. They've effectively decided that if voters won't choose them, they'll just choose their voters. It's the complete opposite of how a representative democracy is supposed to work. Honestly, the sheer projection is what gets me. They scream about Democrats trying to steal elections while their entire electoral playbook is based on voter suppression and rigging district maps. The big lie wasn't just sour grapes about losing an election. It was a loyalty test and a proof of concept. It proved they could create a completely alternate reality, totally divorced from facts, and their base would not only believe it, but would, be willing to commit violence to defend it. And that's the end game here. You know, when you convince your followers that the system is illegitimate and every loss is the result of a conspiracy, you're no longer participating in democracy. You're building the justification to tear it down. The politicization of the Justice Department, the courts, the military. I mean, that's the final step. It's about turning the neutral arbiters of the state into weapons to be wielded against your political opponents. It's a classic slide into authoritarianism. So yeah, he's not being hyperbolic when he says this is a fight. The fundamental choice isn't just between two parties with different tax policies anymore. It's between one side that's actively working to restrict access to the ballot and entrench its own power, and another side that believes in expanding democracy to build a truly multiracial, inclusive society. One vision is about power for the few, maintained by fear and lies. The other is about power for the many, earned through open debate. It's an assault on the very idea that we can govern ourselves fairly. They aren't trying to win the game anymore. They're trying to burn the rule book and declare themselves permanent winners. And if we're complacent, as Obama warned, they might just succeed. Or, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but it doesn't feel like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. While you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.